Gatekeeping. Let's talk about some gatekeeping when it comes to comic books. In case you don't know, definition here, gatekeeping is basically where you feel more entitled than somebody else about a certain subject. Yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as comic books go, a lot of people feel entitled, or they feel like they have been around longer, so they tend to make people new to the hobby feel bad for not knowing as much as them. But granted, if you've been talking to someone that's been reading comic books since the mid-'80s, and you've started reading comics in the later 2000s, of course they're going to know more. The difference is how you make people feel about it. We don't need gatekeeping in this community. I've been seeing it a lot, like around TikTok and Instagram and even YouTube. There's a lot of people that gatekeep certain hobbies, and unfortunately, comic books is one of them. Who cares if you don't know when Black Cat first appeared, or when Poison Ivy first appeared, or what comic book so-and-so came out in, or what number issue this is? That is the beauty of this hobby, is you grow your knowledge of the comic book characters. Okay, for me, one of the coolest things about reading comic books is whenever you find things that lead to other things. And I'm not talking about those, I'll put one up here, but I'm not talking about those little quotes with the little star that says read such and such. I'm talking about those oh crap moments, like whenever you read and you're like, wait a second, is that this? And then you go back and you find what you're talking about, or what you find what you were thinking about in that comic book. Those are the moments that are golden. And those are the moments that it's not necessarily gatekeeping, but as a comic book community, I feel we should bring each other up versus tear each other down based on the lack of knowledge. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to make this a really long video. I've just noticed that gatekeeping has been a terrible thing in the comic book community. And I'm not even talking about the feud between Marvel and DC. I'm talking about, like, just knowledge base. And unfortunately, I feel that comic books are dying. And they are dying to manga. And I'm subject to that. I enjoy reading manga just as much as I enjoy reading comic books. I think the basis for reading manga is just easier. It's easier, it's more accessible, it's in more of a book form, and not to mention, gatekeeping isn't really a thing with manga. I feel like, I'm sure there is some gatekeeping in manga, but from what I've experienced, it's more so people saying, hey, you should check out series XYZ. I think you would really like series ABC. You know, it's not so much as, oh, you haven't done such and such. I feel that the community in manga is a lot more supportive than the community in comic books. I feel the manga community tends to build up their people, where the comic book people are so worried about, I don't know, someone expressing more knowledge than them in something else. And I'm not, and it's great if you know a lot of information. And it's great if you try to help out your fellow comic book peer with that information. What's not great is whenever you rub it in their face, or say you're not a true comic book fan, or you're not a true Spider-Man fan, or a true Batman fan because you haven't read ABC, XYZ, any of that stuff. So I guess on a closing note, I just want to say, if you're in the comic book community, if you're in the manga community, let's not gatekeep. Let's leave it open. I do feel like comic books is a dying breed, unfortunately. I don't think that they'll ever die completely away, especially with the rise of Marvel movies, DCU movies, things like that. In that nature, people are going to be, and that's great. But I feel like the way things are going, it's not looking good. And if you're new to comic book collecting, hi, welcome to my channel. Should have led with that. My name is Michael Crane, Crane's Comics. If you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments. I want to grow a strong community for comic books and manga. So please, let's not gatekeep here. I'm not saying that people show that in my comment section. I'm just saying, in generally speaking, yeah. If I didn't mention it before, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff if you're still here. And as always, love each other with comics. Have a great day.